I have another question here from Suresh once again. If we don't get job offers within the 60-day grace period, then can we transfer to B1, B2? Yes, we spoke about this, but he's asking about which is better, a B1, B2 or F1 student visa.
So an F1 is good only if you plan to um, be a student and pursue that route. It's not necessarily good. This is a very good question, by the way. It's not necessarily good as a stopgap because your F1 processing is also taking time. Yeah, though I think there is premium processing that is introduced for F1. I have to go and look it up again, but from my memory, from what I remember, I think they've introduced premium processing
That's
for
interesting. On the I-539,
I-39 F1s. So, I mean, it may not be a bad option if it gets processed quickly. Then you get onto an F1, but you remember the disadvantage is you have to go to school, you have to be a full-time student, you have to pay your tuition fee. So those are the disadvantages of it. And if you're not if you're planning to discontinue after one semester, then you're losing your tuition fee, etc., etc. On the B2, on the other hand, every thing that you do has advantages and disadvantages. The B2, on the other hand, the disadvantage is the processing time, and you have a pending receipt based on which you'll have to file. And I told you this may or may not work. So at some point, you might have to leave. And that process is not necessarily problematic if you don't mind leaving because you're still in status. You have a receipt. So USCIs cannot say that you're out of status. Then you're leaving as soon as that, one of the two occurs before 6 months or before your H1 change of status application becomes denied. As long as you leave within that period, that is not a bad choice as well. Depends on your situation really as to what you would prefer to do.
Okay. Suresh, I hope your question is answered.